Before you give up on her, before you let frustration and pain take over, stop. Breathe. Step back from the emotions that cloud your mind. Love is not just passion, not just fleeting moments of happiness. Love is discipline. Love is patience. Love is understanding. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that strength is what you need most right now. There will be moments when she doesn't understand you, moments when words fall short, when actions get misinterpreted. There will be moments when you feel like walking away because it feels easier than staying. But is that the way of a Stoic? To run from discomfort? The path of wisdom, the path of virtue, requires that we embrace the challenge, that we endure with grace, that we navigate relationships with wisdom rather than impulse. Seneca reminds us, if you want a thing to be done well, do not be afraid to ask that it be done over. In love, in relationships, in human connection, we must be willing to start over, to mend, to try again, not out of desperation, but out of the wisdom that nothing truly valuable comes without effort. You must ask yourself, is your frustration a response to her actions, or is it your own attachment to how you think things should be? Are you fighting reality? Because if you are, that is a battle you will never win. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." How you see this moment, this difficulty, determines everything. The Stoic does not love with mere emotion. The Stoic loves with reason, with virtue, with purpose. Love is not about possession. She is not yours to own, nor are you hers. Love is a dance of two individuals choosing, every single day, to grow together. It is not about bending her to your will, nor should she attempt to change who you are at your core. Instead, it is about acceptance, about understanding that we are all flawed, that we all struggle, and that true love is the willingness to walk through that struggle together. What is love if not the ultimate test of character? It demands patience when you want to be reactive, understanding when you want to judge, endurance when you want to quit. But this does not mean tolerating disrespect or losing yourself in another. It means approaching each situation with clarity. If she is good for you, if she brings virtue into your life, if she challenges you to be better, then fight for it. But fight with wisdom, not with ego. If she is leading you away from who you are meant to be, then let go, but let go with grace, without resentment, without anger. The world today is quick to discard, quick to replace, quick to walk away at the first sign of difficulty. But the wise man knows that anything worth having is worth working for. Love is not meant to be easy. It is meant to refine you, to sharpen you, to mold you into a better version of yourself. The pain you feel now is a teacher. It is showing you where you are weak, where you need to grow, where you must develop resilience. Consider this. Have you communicated? Not just spoken, but truly communicated, without accusation, without blame, but with clarity and sincerity? Have you listened, not just heard, but truly listened, seeking to understand rather than to reply? Have you placed expectations on her that even you could not meet yourself? If so, is your pain truly her doing, or is it the result of unrealistic desires? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Stop looking at what she should be, and ask yourself, are you the man you claim to be? Are you showing up in this relationship as the person you aspire to be? Because if you are not, then that is where the work must begin. There is power in patience. There is power in restraint. There is power in staying when your mind tells you to run. But there is also wisdom in knowing when to walk away, not out of anger, not out of pain, but out of understanding that the path you walk must be one of growth, of virtue, of purpose. So before you give up on her, before you let go, pause. Reflect. Ask yourself, am I making this decision from a place of wisdom or from a place of emotion? Because one will lead to regret, and the other will lead to peace. Choose peace. Choose wisdom. Choose to love, not just her, but yourself, enough to make the right decision. And what is the right decision? The one that aligns with virtue, the one that aligns with reason, the one that, years from now, will allow you to look back without regret. To navigate love as a Stoic is to recognize that emotions are temporary, but the consequences of our actions can be lasting. It is to accept that passion, while beautiful, is not the foundation of a strong relationship. Character is. When frustration rises, when misunderstandings seem endless, and when you feel unheard, ask yourself, is this a moment of weakness, or is it a revelation of deeper misalignment? Love requires the strength to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. And seeing clearly requires detachment from ego, from entitlement, from the need to be right. The wise man does not demand perfection from others, nor does he expect that love will always feel easy. Instead, he understands that true love is an exercise in resilience, in understanding, in choosing each other every day despite flaws, despite hardships, despite the inevitable trials that come with two people attempting to share a life. But love, like all things, has its limits. Patience is a virtue, but it must not be mistaken for self-betrayal. Restraint is noble, but it must not mean suffering in silence. To stay in love requires effort, but it should not come at the cost of your own well-being. There is a fine line between endurance and self-sacrifice, between fighting for something meaningful and holding on to something that is already lost. Seneca tells us, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. A relationship should be a place of mutual growth. If the love you hold is diminishing your spirit, if it is eroding your values, if it is leading you away from the man you strive to become, then perhaps the wise choice is to step away. Not with resentment, not with blame, but with gratitude for the lessons learned and a heart open to what comes next. Ask yourself, does this love align with my highest self? Does it inspire me to be better, to act with virtue, to cultivate wisdom, to practice patience, and to give generously without expectation? If the answer is yes, then fight for it. Not through anger, not through manipulation, but through presence, through honesty, through the daily practice of being a better partner. But if the answer is no, then let go. Not as an act of defeat, but as an act of wisdom. To love and to leave are not always opposites. Sometimes the highest form of love is the willingness to part ways with grace, to honor the connection for what it was without forcing it to be something it no longer is. Epictetus teaches us, he who is free is lord of himself. A love that binds you in resentment, in obligation, in fear of being alone, is not a love rooted in wisdom. True love exists in freedom, in the conscious and willing choice to be with one another, not out of dependency, not out of habit, but out of a shared vision of what it means to walk this path together. So, do not rush. Do not let fleeting emotions dictate decisions that will shape the course of your life. If the bond is worth mending, mend it with patience. If it is time to part, do so with dignity. Above all, act in accordance with virtue, with wisdom, with the understanding that love, like all things in life, is a teacher. It teaches us resilience. It teaches us humility. It teaches us when to stay and fight, and when to release and trust that what is meant for us will find us again. This is the journey of a Stoic. The path of love, like the path of wisdom, is not about avoiding pain. It is about transforming it. It is about using every experience, every heartache, every challenge as a stepping stone toward becoming the man you are meant to be. Pain is a teacher, not a punishment. Every difficulty, every trial in love, is an opportunity to refine yourself, to practice patience, and to deepen your understanding of what it means to truly care for another person. When love tests you, it reveals the depths of your character. Will you allow anger to dictate your actions, or will you choose composure? Will you react impulsively, or will you respond with measured wisdom? The way you handle the struggles of love is a reflection of the discipline you have cultivated in your mind and heart. It is easy to love when things are simple, when affection flows effortlessly, and when both of you are aligned. But the true measure of love is found in how you navigate the storms. When conflicts arise, when misunderstandings fester, when emotions become overwhelming, that is when your resolve is tested. It is in these moments that you must ask yourself, am I acting out of fear, out of ego, out of the need to be right? Or am I acting out of wisdom, out of patience, out of the desire to build something that lasts? A Stoic does not fear hardship. He welcomes it as a chance to grow. And love, more than any other human experience, will give you countless opportunities to grow. It will demand that you become better, that you communicate with clarity, that you listen with intention, that you let go of the small battles in favor of the greater good. And yet love also requires boundaries. There is strength in endurance, but there is also strength in knowing when something no longer serves you. Love should build you, not break you. It should challenge you, not diminish you. There is a fine balance between patience and self-respect, between fighting for a relationship and recognizing when it has run its course. Seneca wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This applies to love as well. You are not meant to enter a relationship with all the answers, nor should you expect her to. The journey together is about learning, adapting, and growing. But both of you must be willing to learn. Both of you must be willing to improve. If one of you refuses to grow, if one of you clings to destructive patterns, if the relationship stagnates rather than flourishes, then wisdom may call for a different path. It is not weakness to recognize when love is no longer aligned with virtue. It is not cowardice to walk away when staying means betraying yourself. A Stoic understands that attachment to anything transient, be it wealth, status, or even relationships, can lead to suffering if not approached with wisdom. This does not mean love should be discarded lightly. On the contrary, it means that love should be approached with the utmost care, with deep thought, with a commitment to virtue above all else. Epictetus reminds us, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them." If you are in pain, examine your thoughts. Are you holding on to an illusion of what love should be, rather than accepting what it truly is? Are you expecting perfection from her, rather than embracing her humanity? Are you demanding certainty in a world that offers none? The wise man loves with open eyes. He does not expect permanence, but he commits fully in the present. He does not demand that love always feel effortless, but he understands that effort is what makes love meaningful. He does not let pride prevent him from apologizing, nor does he let fear prevent him from expressing what he truly feels. And yet, the wise man also knows when love has reached its natural conclusion. There is dignity in fighting for something worthwhile, but there is also dignity in letting go with grace. Love should not be sustained by guilt, by obligation, or by fear of being alone. It should be sustained by mutual respect, by a shared vision, by the conscious choice to walk together. To navigate love as a Stoic is to recognize that it is not about possession. You do not own her, nor does she own you. Love is a partnership, not a contract of ownership. It is the daily choice to stand beside one another, to support one another, to challenge one another to be better. And if that choice ceases to be mutual, then love must be released with gratitude, not resentment. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Apply this to love. Do not spend your time arguing over what love should be. Live it. Be the partner you wish to have. Show up with integrity. Speak with honesty. Love with courage. And if the relationship must end, let it end with honor, with dignity, with the wisdom to understand that every experience, even painful ones, are part of the journey toward becoming who you are meant to be. This is the journey of a Stoic. It is not the path of avoidance, but of engagement. It is not the path of selfish desire, but of self-improvement. It is not the path of fleeting passion, but of deep, unwavering commitment to virtue. So before you give up on her, before you give up on love, remember this. Love is not for the faint of heart. It is for the strong, the patient, the wise. And whatever you choose, whether to stay or to walk away, choose with clarity, choose with virtue, choose with the courage to follow the path that leads to the highest version of yourself. This is Stoic venture, a journey of wisdom, of virtue, of strength. And love, like life, is the ultimate test of them all.